Hello everyone. Welcome to our next knowledge clip regarding the introduction section of your writing assignment. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for your introduction, as I mentioned before in the approaching the paper knowledge clip, I would recommend the introduction is around 200 to 400 words, probably a little bit realistically closer to the 400 count now, considering the amount of stuff that you need to include in your introduction. But yeah, it's okay if you go a little over, a little under. It's really just to make sure that you have a general basis for your word count and making sure that you're not going too crazy over the 2,000 words maximum or requirement. So the purpose of your introduction is to, introduce, as the title says, your topic and goal of the essay. One of the most crucial elements of your introduction is, of course, your central or research question, and that is what you really want to very clearly establish in your introduction to, particularly, establish the relevance and the goal of the essay. So, of course, regarding your assignment, you want to have a look at a particular chosen market and how that affects, behavior and what sub-questions or what criteria, materials you will need to use to help you get to your final answer. The introduction is really to establish why you are looking into what you're looking into. To recap the assignment in particular, we want to essentially focus on how a particular market affects our behavior and which framework should be considered to evaluate the behavior in the market of your choice. So kind of two considerations here, which is, of course, how the market affects the behavior and how can we actually evaluate this behavior using particular ethical frameworks. That's essentially the basis of your research question, which then you can go a little bit specifically into based on, suggestions from AI and also what you've seen in literature. So very important to note that in the introduction, like other sections of your assignment, it should be very objective, meaning that you should present facts and limit opinion statements. Of course, this is a common trend for your entire writing assignment, but you really want to make sure that everything is very literature-based statements and nothing is coming straight from just an opinion without a source. So getting into a little bit of the structure of your introduction, you have four main components, which is your rationale, which you can kind of think of as setting the background and also identifying the problem. Then you have your central question, then a research method, and then the structure of the paper. So firstly, you have your rationale. So essentially establishing the background and also identifying the problem. So the background is essentially where you just introduce the context of your situation. So you can either introduce a current event or state a status quo. So something that is new that is developed regarding your selected market, maybe ethical frameworks, how that basically can go into a new policy development, different market demands, discussions, behaviors, etc. Or, for example, what is something that a market or a particular behavior that has been consistently happening for, a long time and is the norm. So you can kind of set the scene first, and that then leads you into your identification of the problem. And by identification of the problem, it's more about the moral issues of your selected market and establishing the importance of it. So why is this important? What is the gravity of the importance, and is this a new issue? Who and what is affected by this issue, or who and what is affected by this market, or these behaviors that are affected due to the market? So these are things that you are establishing in your rationale for why are you actually exploring this further. According to the course outline, they also recommend that they want you to use a newspaper article. So you can use a newspaper article to either push your problem identification or your background moments. So that's what I would recommend here. So, of course, after your part one, you have your central question. So you want to link your problem identification and the why of your essay into exactly what is your question. So to what extent, does this particular market affect this behavior in the realm of maybe this ethical framework, or how you're going to evaluate it? So it's important that your central question is neutral or unbiased and also has a defined scope and is not too broad. So again, you only have 2,000 words, so just asking to what extent does this market affect behavior is going to be way too broad to fit into a 2,000 word essay. So be specific either in terms of a particular group of participants in the market, a time period, particular countries, geography, framework in terms of exactly how to evaluate this, and so on. So really try to be specific. You can use AI for this, of course, to give you some suggestions on what are maybe some subsections or sub-questions based on this overall idea. that you can look into. But of course, this should also be backed by the literature. What can you actually find literature about? Because there may be some suggestions from AI that are actually not that well explored yet, and that's going to be also very tricky to write a 2,000-word essay on. So that is my recommendation there. You should definitely have a research question that is clear and well defined in terms of the terms it uses. And avoid a yes or no style of question. Have it be an open question. So perfect way to start it is just to what extent does so on and so forth. So that's my recommendation for the central question. Then we have our research method and the structure of the paper. Research method should be maximum half a sentence or maximum 1 sentence in length, simply because you're not really doing anything crazy with the method of how you're going to address or justify your research question, since you are simply doing a review of past literature. So again, pretty straightforward. You're not doing a study or anything like that, so you can just kind of combine this in a sentence with your fourth part, which is the structure of the paper. So the structure of the paper is essentially establishing, or where you establish the sequence of which your paper will follow. You want to, of course, state the section names, which are given to you in the course outline. And I would also recommend in around, one, maximum, absolutely 2 sentences explaining, what each section will contain. And again, how does it contribute to your entire paper? So how does this actually aid you in your goal of answering your research question that is stated as well in your introduction? So you really want to, again, establish the relevance and set the expectations on, through this structure and through these contexts, you will be able to answer and justify your research question by the end of the paper. So that's the structure of the paper elements. So that's basically going to be it for today's knowledge clip. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to check with your tutorial tutor's requirements. If they have particular preferences about the word count, particular moments, or setting the background and so on, listen to them. Make sure to do that. This knowledge clip is really here to just give you an extra aid or a push in a particular direction, and give you some guidance there. There will be another video coming soon about the theoretical framework. If you do need a little bit of help on your exam preparation, you can check out the links in the description. I hope this was useful. As always, you can always use AI to help you kind of as a tool in guiding you in particular directions or giving you some ideas and brainstorming. But at the end of the day, again, this is a very, very literature-based essay and literature-based research. So stick to what you also are interested in and what you can actually find backings for in the literature. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next knowledge clip.